All right.
All right. Welcome back. It is episode 7 of the Chasin Bling Podcast. That's Big Ben. I'm Coop. And welcome to the show. We've got an exciting one for you today. And we're excited to chat a little bit about some golf. And but before we do, as always, we want to give a little bit of love to our brand 60, a premium sports uniform and teamwear brand. And as always, we like to do some shameless self-promotion, and it is getting into, I know we're just talking about championship season for hockey, Ben, but it is getting close to ordering season for hockey. So, we would love to help those out there that are looking for something new and different in their hockey uniforms, or just perhaps some different pricing models that can work a little bit better for your organization. So hit us up, sweet60.ca/60, or by email info.sweet60@gmail.com. And we wouldn't be able to call ourselves the Chasin Bling Podcast without our friends at Legend Rings. Champ season, thinking about celebrating with something a little blingy. Well, we've got some treats for you. We've got the ability to do practically anything, and we've got some great pricing. Just look at these things. They're absolutely gorgeous. We would love to give you a hand. So get in touch with us. If you want to see a little bit more from what we can do for you, hit up Legend Rings website at legendrings.com.
And with our quick hit to our friends at Black Distillery, they are the sponsor of our game for the podcast. They are located at 99 Hunter Street East in Peterborough, and you can always find them at blacksdistillery.com. Go check them out. They're great people. As well, we'd like to give a quick disclaimer. We'd like to remind everybody to drink responsibly and abide by your local drinking age. We will not be held responsible for any actions or outcomes as a result of your personal actions.
All right. Well, we flew through that today. We must have an exciting one to talk about today, Ben.
Good one.
It is the holiest of holy golf tournaments this week, and you wouldn't have a part of your golf course called Amen Corner if this was not the holy grail of all golf tournaments. So with that in mind, we are talking about
Masters Week.
Masters Week. Well, we're almost through it. Like, today's the start of the real deal. Yeah. Yesterday we had the par 3. Who won the par 3, Ben?
It was Echkanavera. It's his tournament debut. He shot 5 under yesterday in the 9-hole par 3 contest.
Well, I guess what he wanted was to take the nerves out of the big tournament, to say, you know what, let's just win the par 3 and then let the jinx kick in, so that there's no hope in Hades that he's going to win the big draw. So he can now play free and clear and enjoy his inaugural walk around the Georgia Pines.
Well, and not to mention, too, he's going to take home a piece of hardware from that contest. I know most players typically don't like the contest because of the curse, but, if it's his debut, he's still taking home a piece of hardware he can hang on his mantle.
That's an interesting point. Like, how many inaugural players get to take home hardware from the Masters?
Other than being like the low amateur of the week, that would be the only other hardware you could take unless winning the tournament. But
right. So the chances of taking home something on your first trip around is quite rare, and actually quite a feat to be honored with.
Yeah.
All right. So today being the start of the tournament, this is an interesting week, and I want to dive in a little bit for you and I to talk a little bit about what makes this tournament so special for us and for 99.9% of the golfers out there that are either not working today or are working with a secondary screen with a live feed of the tournament being broadcast so that they can keep on top of what's going on.
Well, I know for myself, this kind of marks the start of spring, our golfing season here in Canada. Traditionally, we sometimes don't get the chance to golf until after this tournament is in the books, and it being kind of later this year, it's kind of nice because the weather hasn't been so great. But other than that, I just remember sitting on the couch being a young kid watching it with my grandfather and him explaining to me what this tournament means, especially for the golfers, but even for us spectators watching at home. There's not a place to be had at this tournament. Like, not a piece of grass out of place. The bunkers are so fresh and clean. All the views look so spectacular. It's one of their own, really, and I think that's what makes it so special. Is you wait a year every year for this tournament to come around, and it never ever disappoints.
No, it really doesn't. And for me, there's a couple of things. Yeah, it's the kind of kickoff to our golf season here in Canada. And you're right, we have had an absolutely fucking horrendous winter this year, with snow still on the ground today. Now, it's not much, but I can still see snow out my window, and that's depressing. So to be able to turn on the TV and dive into the southern Georgia pines of Augusta, where the sun is usually shining, the players are in short sleeves, and it looks like it's nice and warm, but at the same time, it's absolutely visually stunning.
Yes,
and with the number of golf courses that these guys play on a year, and being able to really dive in and see these courses on TV and transport ourselves to these tournaments. There's no other golf course or golf tournament that looks the same way this one does.
No, and you're right. Like, they're in their own category as golf courses go.
Well, and then there's the third little component to what draws me in, and it's the fact that it's the same course that they come back to for this major, and it's the only major that's played at the same course all the time, and it doesn't matter what golfer it is. Like, there's changes every year to the course, and we'll talk about that later, but you would think that because it's the exact same course at the exact same place, with and if you've played this tournament over, let's say, 5 to 7 years, you've probably played in every environmental condition that area could throw at you. So you should know this course like the back of your hand. And it still gives golfers fits. And I think what it connects us all to is our own game. Because we traditionally are geographically bound to a small number of golf courses that we all play over and over and over again. And we get frustrated because our games aren't good enough to continually hit scores better and better and better and better every round. And when we see the pros doing that at Augusta, having the same fits, having the same challenges as us, it's the one true sport that allows us to link ourselves to a pro and say, I know what they're going through.
Yeah, it is nice to see these golfers that are exceptional struggle at this place year in, year out. And I think that's what, like, you hit the nail on the head. We get to watch them actually go through the motions of struggling at this tournament. That being said, though, with it being at the same course every year, you would think, oh, it might be the same guy every year. There's always a Cinderella story that comes out of this place, whether it's, Scotty Scheffler maybe winning a third time in 4 years, right? Or is it a new face that's gonna, cement their legacy in this place?
Well, and on the flip side of that, there's always a big name that has a stick of dynamite in their bag and they absolutely blow up.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's a multiple Masters champion.
Yes.
So, like, you would think that the fact that, if you're a champion, you get access to the course a little bit more than everybody else. And so the more green jackets you win, you would think the better you know the course. And for somebody that plays the course 20 times, somebody that plays the tournament 20 times should have a little bit better course knowledge, but every once in a while they come out and their first round is +9.
Yeah.
And it's like, whoa, what happened? And it's just that everyday Joe combination of, I just had a bad day. The elements got to me. The greens were giving me fits. And as spectators and as golfers, we can all familiarize ourselves. We're connected to that because we've all done it.
That's right.
So as we walk down Magnolia Lane and talk about this today, we each have, and I'm sure they may be the same, they may be different. We each have our own favorite holes of this golf course. And it's interesting to hear everybody's different favorites. So walk me through yours.
Well, my favorite hole out of this whole entire golf course is number 13 Azalea, the par 5.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I remember watching this hole being a kid, and you see all the azaleas around the corner and at the back of the green, and they have those 3 bunkers surround the back, the creek in front of the green, and it requires such a high demanding shot as a righty to either hook it around the trees or a lefty fade it around, but don't go too far because you have those trees outlining the back of the fairway and you'll be in the pine straw.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this kicks off the tournament come Sunday when the players are standing on this tee box going, okay, I need birdie here to stay in it. And like we both know, if you don't birdie these par 5s and take advantage of them, you won't be in contention come Sunday. So this for that reason, this is my favorite hole. My second favorite hole is number 16 Rosebud, the par 3. And for that being so many iconic moments, whether it's Tiger's chip in, where it shows the Nike logo barely rolling in the cup, the countless hole-in-ones we see where they put that traditional Sunday pin middle left and they hit the slope and let it roll back in. it's also it's a classic, right?
Yep,
And
it sure is.
my third favorite, and it's number 18 hole or Holly, the par four. And it's just because come Sunday, you've played 71 holes. You need one good swing to get yourself in play to set up a second shot. And that narrow fairway is daunting. I can't remember how many times I've seen a player stand over that tee box and they either hook it left and it goes almost to the bunker or in the bunker, or they're way right into the trees on the right side. It offers both challenges, and that's why it's also my top three.
Excellent. Yeah. Everybody knows Amen Corner, 12 and 13, and them being traditionally fan favorites, especially when it comes down to the results of the tournament. We all saw Jordan Spieth dunk, 2 balls in the pond on 12, one from the tee and one from the drop zone, to fall out of the lead and contention and lose the championship that year. But for me, I think it's because we have a course not too far from us called Wooden Sticks that has those 2 holes as replicas, that those 2 kind of fall out of contention for me, because I felt like I've played them. They're nowhere near the same slope and the same everything, but they're close. So for me, my absolute favorite hole is number 10, Camellia. And it as you can see on the picture in our frame here, it's for this frame alone that this is my favorite hole. And it's not a pushover hole. There's been a lot of challenge, and for guys to get off the tee, I love, even though it's kind of out of play for the pros, that trap in the fairway is stunning.
Mm-hmm. It is.
And just the downhill second shot that goes down it's a downhill slope that comes back up to a raised green, provides so many different challenges for the golfers. I love it. My second one is number 3, Flowering Peach, and and it's for one reason only. It's got an Inukshuk sand trap, and it ties into some of our Canadian heritage. And as you drive across this country, you see Inukshuks all across the highways that have been put out. So that's a tie there. And then I got to have a par 3 in there, because the par 3s on this course are some of the more, let's say, defining holes, because they all have their unique challenges. So my favorite par 3 is number 6, Juniper.
Oh,
It's the elevated tee to the sunken green. And one of the facts that I love it is where the spectators, or as Augusta needs you to call them, patrons, sit for watching this hole. And it's the in between, it's the hill in between tee and green that all of the patrons watch this hole from. And I just those are the 3 that I really enjoy watching. And as soon as we get concluded with this podcast today, I'll be pretty glued to the TV watching intently.
and as will I. But you also hindered this morning. There's a few course changes with the Masters this year.
Yes, as the course tinkers every year, there was a large need to do some work this year. And unfortunately, Hurricane Helene decided to play around with the foliage in and around Augusta National to the detriment of about 1,500 trees. And my favorite hole, number 10, has this now unique little potential advantage where there's now an opening in the trees down the left side that was never there before.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, like you said, if players will take advantage of that open slot now off the left side of the tee block.
Well, Xander Schauffele was quoted as saying it's dangerous, but we both know that should somebody be in that need for a late push come the turn on Sunday, should they want to try to make a boost on Saturday afternoon, there's going to be a small handful of guys that might take a shot at this and see if it can turn what is typically a very difficult par average hole to being one of those holes where they can gain a stroke on the field.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. There's only a few that come to my mind that, come Sunday, if they are 4 back on the turn and try to want to make a push towards the leaders, they might consider taking it high and over the treetops and only have about 120, 130 yards into the green.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then they've done some work on some greens this year. Not some of them were necessities due to hurricane damage, but others were planned. So greens 1, 8, 15, and 16 have all seen some new shaping. So those greens maps from years past for those holes may not come in handy this year.
Yeah, like you said, this opens the opportunity for new pin placements and new problematic areas for the players around these 4 greens that you mentioned.
Oh, absolutely. And the other thing that I heard was that the specifically 15 and 16 greens are playing a whole lot harder and a whole lot faster than the other 16 on the course. So we might have some challenging interactions between golfer and caddy around those 2 holes this year.
Yeah, especially when you come to 15 and it's some players are hitting 3 wood into this green or even a 4-iron, or whether or not to lay up and hit a wedge in there so it lands a little higher and softer onto these putting surfaces.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to kind of look at and watch to see if early on, while they're playing a little harder, there's more players looking to play that layup with a higher, more spin second shot that's going to sit and hold, or whether they continue to try and bomb it down there and try to get on in 2 for that eagle opportunity.
Yes. Yeah, that's right. That being said, though, we have some picks this week. You and I have deep dove into 4 different categories. So my question to you, Jim, is who do you have as your favorite player this week?
So my top pick of the week is kind of a heartfelt, but also kind of a, this guy's shooting very well in the first bit of the season and has won one really big tournament and another tournament as well, and that's Rory McIlroy. I think if he gets going, he has the ability to kind of knock the monkey off the shoulder and don the green jacket for the first time. How about you? Who's your top pick this week?
My top pick this week is Victor Hovland. He's played in 6 events this year. He's already got a win underneath his belt. It's a bit of a rocky start for him. He's only made 3 cuts in his 6 events, but with 1 win and 2 top 25s in the tournaments he's made the cut. I just see this young kid as having every aspect to contend in the weekend of this place. He can stripe it down the fairway. He's so good on the putting surfaces. I can really see him making a push this week.
All right. Well, as a proud Canadian company, we should pick some top Canadians that are in the field this week, and so that we can support our national golfers. So who's your top Canadian in the field?
My top Canadian this week is Corey Connors. Some would say he's probably the best Canadian golfer right now. He's played in 9 events this year. He has 4 top 10s. He's made 8 cuts, and he has 2 top 25s. This guy has been up top the leaderboard, it seems like, every week he's played this year. Traditionally, he plays well at the Masters. He's had a couple Sundays where he needs to make a late push and never got done, and he finished in the top 10 of the tournament. This year, I think he has been playing well enough leading up to this tournament that he can make a push and be the second Canadian ever to win this tournament. How about you, Jim?
Well, it's a small field of Canadians. So I think this might be Nick Taylor's opportunity to do something special. He's always grinding. He's always getting out there, and his wedges are money. He's got a great and the one thing you have to do around Augusta National is putt well, and he is a great putter. So if he can pull all 3 aspects of his game together, I think he could probably make a run up the leaderboard and do something really good this week.
Very nice. Our next one is our heartfelt pick. What is your heartfelt pick of the week?
My heartfelt pick of the week is a larger than life human, much like with a body much like mine, Shane Lowry. I just love this guy. He brings such a good attitude to the course. I just loved watching him and Rory at the par 3 yesterday with their girls, and both girls sinking putts, and them just enjoying it. I think that if he can get off to a great start, he will stay in the mindset that he truly has the ability to finish this one out, and he could do something, and to be in a position where has there been an Irish champion?
That's a good question. I can't think of one off the top of my head. I don't think there is.
Right. So to be able to, and my top and my heartfelt are both golfers from Ireland. So maybe one of them will knock that will etch that trophy with a shamrock.
Yeah, my heartfelt, and he's been mentioned in past golf talks here on the podcast, is Tommy Fleetwood.
Yes.
This guy came ever so close in the Canadian Open a couple years ago, but he ended up losing to a Canadian, Nick Taylor.
Yes.
Last year, Tommy Fleetwood finished tied for 3rd at the Masters. I think, like I said previously, this tournament's perfect for storylines and Cinderella stories. And what perfect would it be for Tommy Fleetwood to get the monkey off his back, get his first PGA Tour win at the Masters, and cement his legacy in this place forever.
Well, I saw a stat on Tommy earlier this week where he is the first golfer in PGA Tour history to earn over $25 million in purse earnings without having a win.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I think if he gets it done this week, all the naysayers and all those people will finally go away. And and I hope Tommy has a great week just for that.
Me too.
And so for our last one, we have our dark horse.
Yes, dark horses are always the cool little guys that you cheer for, and that could come out of. It's not like they come out of nowhere. All of these golfers in the draw are good. All of these golfers are known. It's just who might come out of the woodwork this week and knock on the door and say, "Hey, it's me." So who's yours?
Mine this week is Max Homa. Some would say he's a fan favorite around the PGA Tour. He is one of my favorites for likability. Hasn't had a great year. He's been in 8 events. He's only made 2 cuts. So he's struggling as early on this year. But last year he did finish tied for 3rd with Tommy Fleetwood. And traditionally he's made the cut the last 4 years he's played this tournament out of 6 years he's participated. So I think if Max Homa can get it together this week, he can make a push come Sunday and hopefully hoist the trophy.
Well, good luck to Max. He's a likable guy. He's real, right?
Yes.
I like how he interacts with people on social media. So he's an entertaining guy. For me, my dark horse this week is Sahith Theegala.
That's a good pick.
I love this guy. He is so likable. He's got kind of that everyday golfer vibe to him. And he plays great golf. So if I am going to enjoy watching his tournament this week, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, that's right. We'll see what happens. But what's your winning score this week?
I have an inkling that this week the winning score is going to be around -16.
Okay. You went a little higher than I did. I think this year, if the players don't take advantage Thursday and Friday, it's going to be tough come the weekend. And I see a winning score of -9 this year.
9. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll see where things end up. As we both know, a lot of what the final score has to do within the Masters is weather.
Yes.
And I know that you were looking earlier in the week, and the weather looked really good all 4 days.
It does look good all 4 days with sunshine and high temps into like the 2022s. So it'll be perfect for golf. But I don't know. If the wind ever does get up around this place with the swirling winds, you never know what kind of scores can come out of the clubhouse. So
yep,
it'll be something interesting and something to look forward to.
Yeah, and as the tournament goes, and it's funny, we didn't even talk about. It's funny how our picks were all PGA Tour golfers.
Not one live golfer.
And there's one guy that we talked about earlier in the week that could take this thing, but neither one of us picked him, which is Bryson.
Yeah, I mean, he's an interesting pick. It's kind of interesting as well, the dynamic change with Bryson's outlook. Years past, he said this course was a par 67 for himself, and then absolutely did not tear it apart. He blew himself up that week. I think that was a little bit of a humbling moment. But what he's done with his YouTube golf is brought the fan base back towards his likability side. I didn't pick him this week. I do see him making an impact, but we'll see. We'll see come Sunday if he's in the leaderboard or not.
It does with the fact that he can truly bomb the ball off the tee can be an advantage at Augusta. However, the slopes and the positioning of everything eliminates the pure bomb ability of the ball.
Yes.
Because if you get into a position where the ball is either extremely above or below your feet, or you've put the ball in a position where your second shot you cannot get at the pin, now you're forcing your chipping and putting game to pick up the slack.
Yes.
And we all know and have seen over the last eon that the longer your putt at Augusta, the higher your score is dang well going to be, because you're not going to read that thing perfectly, and your ball is still going to end up 10 to 12 feet from the hole.
Yes. Yeah, no, that's right. It's if you're outside of 35 feet around this place, your 3-putt ability kind of tickers in the mind a little bit.
Oh, absolutely.
Just like you said, it's hard to read these greens, and it's hard to tell where some hidden slopes are within this place, and you never know when the ball's going to stop rolling.
Absolutely. Well, my friend,
Well,
that was a great chat on golf. I look forward to some couch time this weekend. And to be able to enjoy that is the Masters. On that note, we have a little bit of an exciting announcement for something that's coming to the pod next week. Story time. So what we would like to and are going to start sharing with everyone is a series of stories from ourselves and from our guests that join us here on the pod. And it's things that we have experienced in our lives through different categories. Some of them being where was the best sporting venue that you've ever visited, or who was the biggest named sporting athlete that you've met. So next week we're going to start story time. So we're excited to share that with you, and hopefully we'll have some fun with it, and we'll get a nice collection of stories as we continue, and as we get more and more people joining us here on the podcast to share their stories.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to hear, and especially with our guests, and even with yourself, Jim, that have been around so many people.
Are you saying I'm old, Ben?
No, but you've been around.
Wow, I just got called out for my age.
You've been around the block a few times.
Oh, wait, did I say that? Sorry. But yeah, so you young bucko, we'll hear what you got. Well, I know you've got some interesting stories too, because we've talked about them at length over the time we've known each other, and this will be an exciting segment to add to the podcast.
Yes, it will be.
And just before we sign off, we'd just like to remind everybody that if you liked our show this week, give us a like, give us a subscribe and follow the podcast and share this with your friends. All righty. So, on that note, it's been a great week. Looking forward to some good golf. Thanks again, Ben, for your participation. As always, it's awesome to talk sports with you.
Yeah, no, thanks, Coop.
And we'll see everybody next week. Have a good one.
Bye, everybody.